What up?
There you go. There you go.
Okay.
We made it. We made it. What's up, brother?
Man, cool.
How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm blessed. Every day I wake up, I'm, blessed, baby. You feel me?
Hell yeah, bro. I appreciate you stopping by.
Yeah, nah, man. I always like to chop it up with everybody, man. It don't matter how big or how small it is. You feel me?
Hell yeah, bro. I mean, that's how you do it. You know what I mean? Just networking, building. You feel me?
Yeah, you got to, man. A lot of motherfuckers, they want to have these expectations, but they don't want to put the groundwork for it. You feel what I'm saying? It's like you can't get to the big joints if you don't do everything. You feel what I'm saying?
Exactly. And then you never know, like, who's going to blow first, so you never know, you know what I mean? And I feel like we get it together. We all blow up together. You feel me?
Yeah, not only that, this shit like really a marathon and shit. And I hate to say that word because I know that's like a cliche term at this point. But it really is, though. You feel me? It's like, motherfuckers got to understand, like, it's only a certain amount of people that ever blow up overnight, and they usually not here after so long. So it's the dudes that really lay the foundation that are, turning into legends, et cetera, et cetera. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah, bro. Well, let's get into it, brother.
Yes, sir.
Who are you? What do you do? And where do you come from?
My name is Anni Meanz. I'm from Cudahy, California. That's in South Los Angeles. And I'm a recording artist. I'm a hip hop artist. That's what I do for a living, and that's what I am. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got caught up in one of your. I didn't even think it was on your page. I think like I don't know if it was a full page or something. They grabbed your one of your clips, and the reason I mean I saw your comment first before your music, and then I fucked with your music, and then I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna see what's up with the homeboy. But it's because I feel like a lot of people that are in our age group or whatever are kind of like afraid to say it, like about like you spoke up about like I took the vaccine too. Yeah, and I feel like we're getting to a place where like we can't even say that we took the vaccine, or we're gonna looked at like we're bad now, like how it's like getting there's this meme that they're saying like vaccinated and the unvaccinated is worse than the norteño and the sureño beef. You know what I mean?
Nah, you know what it is. I'm gonna be 100 with you, right? It has a lot to do with the way we voting and who we paying attention to and leading this country, and a lot of the agendas that we don't notice because. Like, okay, let's say for instance when the whole pandemic shit was going on and they had like BLM and all that, right?
Yeah.
They marketed that movement to our gente like if it was for us and they was for minorities, etc. But in reality, that's a homosexual movement, and the leaders of that movement are homosexuals, and their main agenda is to press a homosexual lifestyle, which they actually succeeded in doing because now you can't even be a heterosexual man and speak your piece without being criticized in this country at this point. And in reality, that's reverse. It's not a prejudice.
Discrimination.
They discriminating against the heterosexual man at this point. You feel what I'm saying? And we've allowed them to do that by participating in bullshit ass movements like that. And when I say we, I mean us, our gente, Chicanos, because for some reason. We don't think it's cool to be a part of, the political structure in this country, or we have some type of ideal that, fuck the police and fuck all this shit. Now, obviously, if you stand on the opposite side of the law and you're a criminal, then I get it. Fuck the police. But the criminal element in this country is maybe 3% or some shit, if we really boil down to it. Mostly everybody else is normal people. It's like, let's say, for instance, my mother, your mother, if a crime happens to them, they finna call the police because that's who's there to protect them. They're not going to go pick up a gun. You feel what I'm saying? And those are the people that need to be speaking out, the silent majority. You feel what I'm saying? But if we don't educate ourselves and educate our gente about what's going on, we going to be bamboozled by bullshit-ass movements like that. And they really needed the Hispanic community to get behind them to show the rest of the world that they had a backing. Once the rest of the world seen they had a backing, then everybody was picked up on it. You feel what I'm saying? Because nobody wants to be a part of anything that isn't cool. But when you have them numbers to back your shit up, then everybody wants to be a part of that. And where are they going to go to get them numbers? They're going to go to the Chicano community because we're the majority here. And within 20 years, we'll own this motherfucker. You feel what I'm saying? But it's not working for us because we don't have the right people in power. We're not voting for local politicians, and we're just not teaching our gente to be politically aware at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. I mean, I grew up in a very politically aware family, bro. But like, they didn't necessarily like they fought for the people, but they didn't get their finances right. So I grew up in the hood, even though like my parents are college educated, you know. And so,
Yeah,
you know, for me, I've always said that the revolution and all that shit starts in the house. You know, you got to take care of you and your familia first. You know, like I would never subject my daughter to the streets or just because I wanted to help the people or something. So that's where I'm trying to network with people because I want to help young men. You know, have hope, and when you have hope, you can do a lot. And how you have hope is having a business, you know, having a talent, you know, doing this, you know, having a reason to get up, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
so
most
that's what I'm
definitely.
trying to push people towards because like, I mean, I fuck with the BML movement. I don't agree totally, but I do think that the main thing that they messed up on too is they didn't address brown people getting killed. Our people get fucking murdered every day in the hood, and they, you know, there ain't no big old like thing for them. And you know, I actually think that we did come out for them, you know, and I just feel
Yeah,
like they
no,
don't
we
come out
did it.
for us. And it's not to hate on them tit for tat, but I feel like we can't wait for nobody, you know. We got to stand up for ourselves, you know. And I feel like every time a Chicano got killed in that time, I never saw any like people really standing up for those Chicanos and saying like, you know, talking like black people saying about them. And that kind of hurt me, bro, because I'm like, I'm really close to my Chicano people. And I'm, you know, I'm from up north, but I grew up in,
Yeah,
you know, I became a man, I say, in LA, you know,
yeah.
and so I have that experience that most people don't, bro. And so I'm just trying to open people's minds. And I feel like you're open-minded, you know?
Now, well, you know, it's like the old saying goes, you know, if you don't stand for something, you're gonna fall for anything. And we falling for everything at this point because we're not aware. And it's really boils down to self-preservation. You feel what I'm saying? Like they're gonna try to preserve their own self, right? And they're gonna protect their own kind. You know, no matter how anybody wants to boil it down, we just not the same. We two different cultures, we speak different languages, we live differently. It doesn't matter that we share the same neighborhoods because at the end of the day, we're still different people with different morals and values. So, you know, we have to get it. We have to organize ourselves. We have to teach our people to stand for ourselves. And if we want to come back later and build with another culture, then we do that. But we only can do that once we're structured and we're solidified in our stance and what we're doing. So my thing is, I'm not against nobody. I'm not against whites, blacks, none of that shit. I'm not a racist. My son is half black, but I'm for my
And you're
people
half native, right?
100%. Yes, and I'm half native. So,
Nice.
you know, my belief system and my stance is for my gente, whether you're native or whether you're Chicano, because in reality, Chicanos and natives are actually the same people.
Mexicano, man, Chicano,
Exactly.
Xicano.
Exactly. So, you know.
Hell yeah. And then so then saying that, like, would you ever work with somebody up north or like, how's that, all that, you know? Because I know it's so weird now with the politics are changing in prisons and, you know, not
Yeah.
to get into details, of course, but I feel like music is one place where we can kind of come together and we don't got to talk about that stuff. Just,
Yeah.
you know, make music together. And I think that speaks louder.
I did a record with Young Chop. Young Chop, he's
Okay.
from
I know
Frisco.
exactly who that is. I know who.
Me and
That's a
Chop got
homie.
a record that's dope. He not an affiliate. Um, as far as affiliations, I'll be 100 with you. I won't cross that line because I'm just not going to until it's cool to cross that line. But you know, as far as Chop, you know, I reached out. He don't have affiliations, even
Yeah,
though
no,
he's
no.
from up north.
He's
And
just from the Bay.
it
There's a
makes
lot of
sense.
guys that are just Bay Area guys, you know, they're not.
Yeah. Yeah, so it makes sense. You know what I mean? We did a dope ass record. We're gonna be putting it out. He coming down to LA. We're gonna do the video. I'm for the unity, but I'm for it when you know
Doing it the
as it
right way.
evolves. You feel
Yeah,
what I'm
doing it
saying?
the
Yeah,
right way.
exactly. I don't want to and I'll be the first one to tell you. You know, I don't want to be revolutionary in it. Let it evolve into what it's gonna become, and then you know I'll move as such. You know what I'm saying? But as far as just you know, dealing with people from up there, it's all good, bro. I don't have, you know, I didn't grow up in that climate. You know, I'm from LA. Everybody's against everybody out here.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't, you know, and even when I went to the joint, I had minimal dealings with people from up there. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't necessarily have them animosities, but you know, I still respect the cause and the structure. So and I move as such. So you know, it just is what it is. But yeah, like I fuck with up north heavy, man. A lot of people from up there fuck with my music, and they support me, and it's all love, man. If you're a Chicano, I fuck with you. That's just where it goes. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm learning, is not to push too much, not too quick, you know, like let this thing that's happening in the joint, and also I was like, kind of let it happen on it naturally instead of forcing it, you know?
Yeah.
Because I think what's going to happen, bro, is we're just going to get like this, you know, like little by little. And then one day, you never know, man, you might be right there with Rico Too Smooth.
Yeah, right.
I'm just having fun. I'm just having fun, man. But I don't know. I just want to see. It's because, bro, I grew up out here. You know what I mean? But then I spent such a long time in Los Angeles, bro. And I mean, like right there where people from LA, you know, not like imports, you know, and they took care of me, homie. You know, and I got like tattoos that necessarily are, you know, could be eye bust, not full eye busters, but you know, and because how I carry myself, I never got hit, beat up. I never got anything, you know. They just, because I kept, you know, I kept in my lane, but my experience with the homies out there transformed how I see things, and it's hard for me not to say nothing, because I feel like there's just dope ass raza out there and dope ass raza out here, and somehow if we can just mingle a little bit, I feel like it'll work.
Nah,
But we
you
can
know,
keep all the gangs and politics, all that shit out, just on some fucking hip hop, bro. Like music, the first heartbeat you ever heard was your mother's heartbeat. Doom, doom,
yeah,
doom, 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 doom. The drum, I follow native ways, bro. I go to Sweat Lodge. I'm a firekeeper, so like, doom, doom, you know, and that's what connects us, bro. So I feel like if we keep doing that, you know what I mean? Little by little, we can just move wherever the fuck we want to move.
You know, it'll come around, because you know, people got to understand, like it don't happen overnight, because we're talking about a 50, 60, 70-year-old war. You feel me? So, you know, shit just has to fall into place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm sure it will at some point, but you know, when it happens, it happens. That's all I can really say about that. You know what I'm saying?
Homie asked, do you think it will ever be unity in this world, black and brown or south and north? Because I see it out there in LA, bro. It's like I never seen like the hoods go at it, and it's like not even just say black and brown, but even just barrio from barrio. Like you talk about 50-year war. There's been 50-year wars in LA, you know. And how do you get over that?
You know, I'm gonna be 100 with you, man. When it comes to black and brown, you know, relations, it's really tricky, because you know, I feel like it's far, like I'll use the music industry for example, right? We're not fully embraced by them, and they don't have a problem letting us know that. You feel what I'm saying? When it comes to music, they feel like we're inferior to them, and that's the reality.
I feel that way.
I know this because I was signed to 2 different black labels because I rap a certain way. You feel what I'm saying? And until they get over that, even for myself, I'm just not fucking with it. You feel what I'm saying? I don't. I'm very vocal in this. My platform is for my people. Now, if you're black or white and you stumble onto my platform and you embrace what I'm saying, then you're free to come. But I don't make my platform and my music and my message is not for you. My message is for Chicanos. My message is for natives, and that's who I stand up for, and that's who I speak for. And the reason why I'm like that is because I've experienced a whole lot of prejudice in this music game from black people. You feel what I'm saying? Do I feel like all black people are bad? No, I don't. But you got to understand too, I'm from a neighborhood in LA that's at war with black gangs. So I've seen the lengths that they're going to go to defeat us or to harm us, if that makes sense. You dig what I'm saying? So when you're involved in them type of things, automatically you're gonna be a little bit skeptical and you're gonna be a little suspicious. Not only that, you know, like you said, the BLM shit, they didn't come out to support us like that, but there was hundreds of Chicanos that marched for them. So for me, it always feels like we playing catch up with them, like we constantly begging or working for their acceptance. You know, we're trying to get their acceptance, but they're never giving it to us. And then there's just the fact that, you know, they'll charge the fuck out of Mexican rappers. Shout out to my man Young Chop. He just checked in. What up, bro?
What up, Young Chop?
And you know, it's just we not equal. And what I really feel like, the Chicano man in this country is the new black man, if that makes sense. You feel what I'm saying? And I feel like they trying to treat us the way white people used to treat them. You know what I'm saying? Because if you really bust it down at this point, there's no real. I mean, I know they like to talk about their rights and all that, but how many black billionaires are there right now? You feel what I'm
Like
saying?
a
Like, I don't
handful, one or
necessarily
two.
believe that they're behind in the race any longer. You feel what I'm saying? Um, now the people that are looked down on in this country are us, Chicanos. What's up with all the assaults of the vendors and everything? You know, we could just go on, and I don't want to make it look like that's the focal or I'm, you know, mad and angry about it. But these are just the things that have made me take the stance that I take, and you know, that's I'm a very passionate person in what I believe in. So I don't give a fuck if my opinion is unpopular because I'm
Yeah,
gonna speak my piece.
but that's why I fuck with you, bro. It's because I
Yeah,
like, you know, why I caught on is because I felt that. I felt like in 2020 before the pandemic, bro, I used to, a lot of times in my life, homie, I used to put on for people.
yeah,
I'm half Irish, half Mexican, and being half Irish in the hood, you know, and my dad being the white guy, you know, I had to represent a little bit harder, you know. I mean, even if the
yeah,
homies didn't say nothing, I did it for my, you know, my
yeah,
own shit, you know. And so I told myself, like, I'm done putting on for people, you know, like I'm
yeah,
gonna be myself. This is where I grew up. This is my life. And some people hate on me, bro. Some people hate on me for tucking to Southerners. Some people hate on me for this or that, but I don't care, homie. I'm a grown ass man. I'm a fool, man. You feel me? And
yeah,
like I want to deal with men that have opinions, that have feelings, that are not afraid to speak their mind, because we could disagree. There's some things that you said, bro, I disagree with, but that doesn't mean that it's not your truth or that it doesn't have value, you know, and
yeah,
especially value in conversation, because in conversation is where we can work things out también. And I feel like we got to stay connected to all of the people that are
yeah,
willing to be with us. It doesn't matter about race. It's about vibes, you know, like, you know, you could be a rich ass dude from somewhere fucking from South Pasadena, you feel me? And if you got love for the homies and you're putting something down, you know, adding value, then we're going to fuck with you. But you know what I mean? So that's why I'm trying to just, why I created this, bro, is because I saw Adam 22 and all that. But those fools don't fuck with Shasta. Like, I think he's only had the homeboy from Santa Barbara up there, and maybe one other Chicano, bro. Create our own platforms, you know,
yeah, exactly.
to support our artists. And shout out to the Fool community, because they're the ones that got the homie right there inspired me to start the podcast and kind of go off of what he was doing. He was pushing out artists, and then I'm grabbing those artists and interviewing them, because I feel like this is a little deeper than just the rapper, you know, like
Yeah.
this is me, you know?
Nah, yeah, they support me over there heavy too, man. I appreciate that. Nah, that's what it is, man. You know, like and I've been telling people that early, like they not finna let us in the music industry or any other industry because of our numbers. You know, right now the music industry or the movie industry, they're very comfortable at where they have us, and that's as the consumer. You understand what I'm saying? We're the majority out here, so guess what? We're the motherfuckers that's paying for all these concerts. So what's gonna happen when our own people become aware of our artists, of the people that come from where they come from, and people that they can identify with? There's gonna be an economic shift in all these industries, and that's why they keep a nice tight lid on us. They never televise our growth in the music industry. You know, they always like to keep that stigma on us about how Mexicans can't rap, or you know, there's nothing but cholo rap coming out of there. But in 2021, I'll out rap 100 black dudes easy. You feel what I'm saying? Like, my talent is equivalent to any black dude you could put me next to, and that's a fact. You know, and motherfuckers know that just from witnessing it. So with that being said, you know, they don't want motherfuckers like me and a lot of other motherfuckers that got the same type of talent level to get into these rooms, to get into these conversations, because then, like I said, it'll become an economic shift and the money will start going somewhere else. And they, you know, who wants to give up a cash cow that they've been, you know, raping essentially for decades? You feel what I'm saying? And that's why you're always only going to see a Mexican starring in a movie that has to do with barrios and street gangs,
And it's the
or
same
you know,
guys too. The
cartels.
same
You
five,
know, and it's
10
always the
fools.
same motherfuckers. And one of them motherfuckers ain't even Mexican, believe it or not. You feel what I'm
I
saying?
know. He's
So
fucking
it's
Puerto
like, you
Rican.
know, yeah. So it's like, you know, you got to be careful with that, man. You got to stay woke. And it's very important for people like yourself and a lot of the food community, all these different podcasts, Rhodium Radio, all these outlets to continue to push the artists, because y'all giving us a platform to build and grow. And how many people never knew who I was that probably know who I am now? You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, I encourage everybody that's doing something like you're doing to continue to do it, because we need y'all to further the movement. And like you said, it's a revolution. You feel what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, shout out to Garnalismo Clothing too, because that's another thing, like supporting you know, clothes, you know, supporting the I'm a professional photographer, videographer,
Yeah.
Chicano photographer, you know, Chicano entrepreneurs, because the hip hop has so much in it too. DJs, music, artists, graffiti artists, breakdancers, you know, clothing, jewelry, everything, you know, and there's all parts of that community. And I feel like we're going, bro, with like Tony A, Road and Radium, American Cholo, like some of these platforms are starting to kind of get bigger, you know what I mean, and speaking out. And I feel like we're not scary no more. We're not. I feel like we're at a point where we're saying like no mom is way, like I'm done putting on for you guys or trying to be like part of your culture. We appreciate your culture and we're gonna take some part of it and, you know, make our own. And I feel like the future is ours.
Yeah, you know, and
Right,
that's why, like, you know, I see a lot of comments on the net about how people like, yo, the young raza, the way they're acting. But you got to understand, like, a lot of them are acting that way because they never had nothing to look up to, or, you know, the mainstream media didn't want it to be cool. They made them feel like it wasn't cool to be who they are, and it wasn't cool to embrace our cultura. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not, you know, I don't dress like a cholo from the '70s, but that's still my culture, and that's still where I come from. So I'm still gonna honor that to a certain extent. But I feel like a lot of these younger people, they kind of losing sight of that culture and where we come from. And the reason why that is not because nobody's fault other than ours for not standing up sooner and pushing our values and culture and morals. And it has, the other half has to do with, you know, the mainstream media wanting to keep us where they can constantly make residuals off of us. And that's usually in the cholo movies and the cartel movies. They never, you know, they don't never want, you know, there's Mexican basketball players. There's Chicano football players. There's so many other role models that our people can be looking up to, but they don't televise them. You see what I'm saying?
Nah, bro, in the history books, bro, they have a paragraph about Cesar Chavez and the shit's whack. It's not even a good paragraph. You feel me? Like,
Yeah.
you know, I had to go to college. I went to Cal State Northridge and then USC, bro. And I had to go to those colleges just to find out who I was, you know? And I don't want that for my people. I think we should be able to find that at home, you know?
Yeah.
They want to keep Hector in the movies. I know that fool Hector. That's the funny part.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. He's not even Mexican.
he's not. That's what's hella funny. But he's cool, though. I met him a couple times. He's cool. He's cool cat,
I don't know LG and shit. I got a funny story about that dude, man.
Yeah. Hey, what do you think about, like, the whole Latino saying, Chicano saying the N-word or whatever?
You know, I used to be one of them. You feel me? I really did.
Me too.
And you know, because where I grew up at, there's a mixture of blacks and Mexicans. So I grew up in that aspect, right? But as I got older, and I start, you know, when you're younger, you don't know shit. You feel me? Yeah. You're a little ignorant. But as I got older, I started to really notice the reactions that I would get. You know, before it was like my closest associates, they didn't give a fuck. You know, we're camaradas. But you know, when you start venturing out and you still have that style, you start to really see the real legitimate reactions of the outside world, and it ain't what we think it is. You feel what I'm saying? Black people not feeling that shit at all, you know, and for some reason we think that it's cool to do it because we grew up around 10 or 15 black dudes that accept it.
Man,
but you know, when you get somewhere else, that shit ain't cool and they not feeling it. And they have a certain animosity towards us because of it. But like everything else, it's going to take somebody to speak on it before somebody embraces it and feels comfortable to speak about it themselves. So, you know, you'll never really know until you run into that one black dude that starts to tell you some shit about it, and then 20 or 30 other black motherfuckers come behind him, and now they're pressing you over it. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't do it no more. You know, I'm trying my hardest not to use that word. I've never used that word in my music because I always felt like I was representing my people, and I just don't say that word. There's never been a song that any means used the N-word in. Because like I said, at that point, I'm a voice for more than one person, and that's a culture. So I have to respect that culture, and that's why I've never used that word in my music. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so out here in the Bay, like blacks and Latinos get along a lot, like really, really good, bro. So,
yeah.
So when I was growing up, and even over there, it's the same thing. Kind of like it was kind of to say like we niggas too, like in the sense that like we're oppressed too. We black, we're not black, but you know what I mean. I see you. We're both here. We're both in this messed up situation. So we all niggas, right? So it was like a way of bringing ourselves together, black and brown in the Bay. But then, as I grown up, bro, like when I moved to LA, actually, I stopped saying it a lot because I was around Chicanos that didn't say the N word. They were like straight Chicanos, like like LA, not LA, and so I stopped saying it. Then I come back to the Bay, bro, and it starts coming up and again. And I just thought, in my opinion, homie, if one person's offended by it, why don't we just let that shit go? You know what I mean? We can say brother, we can say homeboy. You know what I mean? It only comes out when I'm passionate.
That's real. Nah, because I'll be 100 with you. Like, it's offensive when people call me essay to a certain degree. Like when I meet a black dude and he's like, "Hey, what up, Migo?" Like, my name is Anthony, bro. You feel me? And you could address me as such. Don't call me anything other than that if you don't know me like that. You feel me? So, there's been times where somebody be like, "Hey, SA, come here." And I'm looking at him like, "Hey, bro, my name is Anthony." Or, you feel me? Ask me my name, bro. I got a name. You dig? So I understand where they coming from. You dig? Because I feel the certain way when people call me shit that, it just, I don't know. It's just something about it. You feel what I'm saying? I think it's a respect thing, in all honesty.
And that term comes from conflict, homie. You know what I mean? It comes from conflict. Even if they change the word, the ER to it comes from oppression, homie. It comes from a lot of pain. And I just feel like because if it comes from pain, if we were saying any kind of like beaner or spick or some shit, and we changed it, I don't think we'd feel black people saying it to us, though. So I just feel like we should let that shit go.
That's why I say, I know Mexican people that don't want people to call him Migo. They take that shit offensive. You feel what I'm saying? So, it's the same thing.
I don't think I'd want to necessarily be called that shit.
Yeah, it's the same situation. It's just a different scenario.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that's how I feel about that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, bro, where'd you get your perspective from? Because there's a lot of homies that not to say bad about them, but they still kind of on that low frequency conversations. And I felt like that's when I first saw you. I was like, this fool's on he's operating from a higher frequency.
Well, I graduated high school. I went to college too. I went to college for 19 months. I majored in psychology. I minored in sociology. And when I was raised to know that I was Native and Mexican. I grew up in a barrio with my father, but my mother always took me back to the reservation. So I understood what I was. You feel what I'm saying? And with just understanding your roots, a certain level of common sense and awareness, you'll just naturally begin to have, because you're open and susceptible to two different cultures off the rip. So that gives you a viewpoint that's already open. You dig what I'm saying? And then common sense, but obviously common sense isn't that common these days. But just be, and I'm well-rounded as a person. I've been around a lot of black people. I've been around a lot of Native people. I've been around Mexican people. I've been around a lot of things. I've dated a lot of women. You feel what I'm saying? So I've just become accustomed to experiencing all type of different shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. Hey, so what's cracking over there? I'm about to be out there in LA next week for this cipher with the homie. What's cracking with you? What's what's going on in your little world right now?
I know that dude.
Stick?
No. What's his name? He's from New York. He's coming out here. Flea Lord. I know he's a Hispanic that's doing big shit in New York, but he's gonna have a show down here. I think it's on the 2nd of September. So that's I don't even know what fucking day it is. I know the Blaxican, they doing some parties. I think they got one coming up next week too. That's big. And I think Chop gonna be down here. Me and Chop gonna be shooting a video. So if you down here when that happens, you should definitely pull up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Gold Toe. I don't know if you ever heard of Gold Toes.
I know who Gold Toes is. I know who Gold Toes.
Okay, yeah, me and him are close, bro. I've been working with him a lot, and we're gonna have a GT. He's a distribution company. We're gonna have a GT cipher on the 3rd, on Saturday the 3rd, bro. But it's a private situation. But I'll reach out to you, see if you have any time you can stop by and network, because it's basically invite only, all artists, people that are in the industry, Chicanos, Latinos that want to vibe with each other, and it's kind of like networking, basically, Bay Area, LA, San Diego, even some people coming out from the Southwest. kind of like building this movement up, bro. And I think it starts with just communication, smoking a blunt with each other, kicking it, doing music, making some fit pictures, making art together, bro. Because you eat together, you make art together, bro. I think that's like where you really build.
Yeah, nah, keep me posted on it. We see what's up. You know what I'm saying?
For sure, for sure. All right, well, cool. Any last shout outs before we get up out of here?
Yeah, man. Shout out to my man Hip Hop Karma. He's from Oceanside, and I've been doing a lot of work with him lately. Matter of fact, I got a new project coming out. It's called Oside Vibes. It's an EP, and I got a record on there with Blue Bucks Clan. I got a record on there with Mitchie Slick, and Ladiano produced the whole thing. And it's a vibe. You know what I'm saying? I got out of LA for a little bit, and I went down to Oside to record that album just to get a fresh perspective. Because I've been recording all my projects in LA all these years, so I just kind of wanted to get away and let my mind.
Cudahy's right in the middle of everything too. You right in the
it's right in the middle of everything.
Don't you guys have the LA River right there?
Yeah, it runs right through it. Yeah. Okay, that's what's up, man.
Oh, I know your area, homie. I even know
that's dope.
I even know some of the hoods out there because I work for Homeboy Industries, bro, and like you just meet everybody from everywhere, bro, getting a little bit of help. So it's a trip, bro. I got homies from a lot of hoods in LA, bro. Trips me out. We're still connected.
Nah, that's what's up. A lot of people they overlook Cudahy because it's so small, but I mean in reality, it's one of the deadliest cities in the city.
Oh, I'm aware. I'm extremely aware. But that's what I'm saying. You're right in the fun.
Yeah,
you're right there. You're on all sides.
Yeah. So man, that's what's up. I appreciate that. But
yeah, shout out to Cudahy though.
Motherfucker had to kind of get away from all that madness and just get a fresh vibe. So
Oceanside is nice too.
I got a record on there. One of the singles is called Cash, and it's out right now. And
we got another one
called Lost.
That's the one I was bumping. That was the one I was bumping when we started.
Yeah. Nah, and that's a crazy story because one of my homegirls, she's a dancer, and I know her really good, and we chop it up, and she kind of inspired the record. You know what I'm saying? And her name's Cash, so I call it, and it's kind of funny because when the singer sent me the hook back, it was talking about Cash, and I sent it to her. I was like, "Hey, check this shit out," and just kind of played out that way. And like I said, she became an inspiration for the record, and that's why it's called Cash. But it's just a little backstory behind that. You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah. I gotta send you a picture one day, bro, because one of the homies took me out there and we smoked right there on the riverbed, right there you walk out, just so you can just sit right on the river when there's no water in the summertime or whatever. We just blazed one. And I took sick ass pictures of like the LA River with the graffiti all right there in Cudahy.
Yeah, so, that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah,
that's what's up, man.
I
definitely fuck with you extra now for sure.
Yeah, that's like, what I mean? I just love. LA, bro. If you don't know LA, like people think of LA and they think of like like whatever, Hollywood, and they don't know like the hoods, when you really, as a photographer too, somebody that goes around with artists, I'm lucky enough to have been able to really spend time in the hoods with people that grew up there, didn't move to LA. They were born there or came really young.
Yeah, LA is a beautiful place, man. Just like the Bay. I've been to the Bay too. I was in Frisco, I was in Oakland, and it's a beautiful place there too, man. The ghetto to me is not ugly. You feel me? Because there's so much culture there.
It's breathing.
It's vibrant, exactly. And I can see the beauties in all of it. Every time I go somewhere, I go to the trench before I go anywhere. You feel me? I was in the fucking trenches in Tulsa. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, because I just want to get that familiar spirit. And I'm a big believer in energy. So if you go with the right energy, you're gonna be all right. And if who you say you is and you stand for yourself, you're gonna be all right. You know what I mean? It's these sucker ass niggas that when they get somewhere they get robbed because they just not really who they say they is. You feel what I'm saying? But if you're a real man and you got your values on and all that, you're gonna be straight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. I tell people like, hey, bro, I got a Welga bird on my knee, bro. I got like other, and I'll just be honest. And there's some things I can't hide, my tattoos, and because how I carried myself, bro. Like that's why like homies out there will. I mean, of course, there's always a tweaker one having a bad day or whatever, but that's life. But in terms of just a homie, like as long as you carry yourself and know where you're at and be humble and just. I don't know. I just never got fucked with because I guess that, and I wasn't trying to be any extra. I didn't go to prison, bro. I ain't no hardcore. I'm just like, I call myself a cultural, like more cultural because I grew up, I'm from the hood and all that. But like, I went to college and things instead of going to prison, homie. And I have a different story. And there's a lot of homies that didn't go to prison,
Yeah.
There's a lot of homies that had kids and just changed their lives, And so I ain't no super cholo, but I did grow up a little bit for real, like on like that. And I want to never forget where I came from, but also be very, very looking forward,
Nah, and you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because I seen like one of these rappers and they like really glorifying this prison lifestyle, and I know for a fact that certain rapper never been there, and that shit kind of rubbed me the wrong way because I've been to prison, bro. I did a 7-year term, then I did another term for about 2 years, and I was in YA for 5 years. Point being is that there's nothing cool about prison, bro. You feel me? And when they're out here glorifying it, putting it in videos, and trying to dress how motherfuckers is dressing on the yard, and they holding their head up high. To me, that's so corny, bro, because you never even been there, but you promoting this shit to all these youngsters that probably looking up to you and thinking that shit cool. There's nothing cool about being in prison, bro.
There's nothing, bro. It's nothing cool when my homeboys that are older than me, bro, are hitting me up. No disrespect, but like asking, hey, can you send me a green dot?
Yeah,
and there's nothing like in a bad way, but they're grown men asking, somebody else that has kids and have something else. And a lot of times they don't even ask. I just be helping. But you know what I mean? There's no, or when it gets really hot and because I be FaceTiming with some of my homies and they got set. Now they have fans in there, bro. But like,
yeah,
and just like the suffering of it, or having to go, just little things, going to the bathroom with a little cover over you or whatever.
exactly.
I remember when I got locked up, bro, I just was like, oh, this is awkward, homie. Sorry, this ain't for me. I love pussy, and I'm claustrophobic.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, oh, my bad, homies. This ain't really for me. Like, I ain't gonna drop out, but I'm about to go do something different. I'm gonna go like change my life around, and I did. But I
Nah,
came
yeah.
back.
It's funny too because I'll be taking like my girl will be using the restroom or I'll be using the restroom. I just walk in. She'll be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Man, don't even worry about it." Like,
Yeah.
I took a shit with 40 motherfuckers at one time. You feel me? But what I'm saying is this: is that you can talk to the hardest dude in the joint or motherfuckers that got 70 years to life, and the first thing he's gonna tell you is get out and do your shit because this ain't what it's about. You know what I'm saying? And I think people should start spreading that message way more than the message of walking down a tier and having your head held high, because motherfuckers is proud and holding their head high, but they also not feeling it inside. You feel what I'm saying? It's just you don't show your emotion when you're in the joint, but there's a whole lot of it there. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, my homeboy just got home after doing 19 years, and he was like, bro, it changed pretty quickly when I was in there, homie. I went there to go to meet with my family, like a visit, and I looked over and the Southsiders were eating the same food as I was. Their jefita looked just like my jefita, more or less, and they were having the same situation that every moment mattered, every second mattered, and that experience, I don't know that experience, but he was explaining that experience to me, that experience of only being able to see your family for a couple moments, looking over at your enemies and they're doing the same thing, feeling the same anxiety, the worries, and all those things, And then he was like, right there, bro, I wasn't gonna, I was gonna get out. Like in terms of he wasn't gonna do the lifers game, that he was gonna, even if it was 20 years, eventually he was gonna get out of there. Because a lot of guys go in, don't come out, and he's home now, because of that perspective change.
Yeah, no, that's dope, man. And that like I said, my message is so different at this point in my life because I have 2 sons now. Obviously, I'm getting older. I know people think Anni Meanz is the same age forever, but I do get old too. I just look good as I'm doing it now. But
that's right.
Nah, man. But thank you for having me, man. I really appreciate the convo. And whenever if you need something from me, let me know. You got my DM, and we just go from there, man. Thank you very much.
Of course, and I'll be up here. I'm in the Bay anytime you need a place to stay, a studio. We got you, and I'll be in LA and we'll check in for sure. I appreciate your time, my boy.
Yeah, nah, keep in contact with me. Like I said, me and Chop gonna do something. So if you're here down, pull up and we'll have a couple of drinks and chill and shit.
For sure, for sure. I appreciate you, brother. Have a dope ass Friday.
Thank you, sir.
All right, brother. Have a good day, sir.